All right, welcome back to the History Lab here with Mr. Uhrig. We're moving right along today, getting started on doing what I think is a pretty interesting lesson here. I think you will enjoy it. I think you'll be kind of entertained by it. And, I mean, if all else fails, probably learn something from it. So, thinking historically, we're still trying to figure out the different hats that a historian wears, what they have to do to figure things out that are unknown to them before they find a document or an artifact, or try to come to a conclusion about something that they don't have all the facts on. So today we will be looking at Wide Open Town and a TV show called The History Detectives. I think you'll like that a lot. Before we get too far into it though, let's find out what are our goals for the day. What are our objectives? So the first one, we only have two today. I can analyze different types of sources by comparing primary and secondary sources. We'll do that a lot today. And then finally, I can draw conclusions about an unknown story to come to a historical conclusion. So we'll do that today with the TV show. Let's see, move right along here. We will start out with an unknown notebook. So we're very familiar with what a notebook is and what goes in it. When we pull up our handout for the day, I'll move this over here. History Detectives, Wide Open Town. You will see here that you have three boxes on the first page. We got some questions on the second page, but we'll get to that here in a second. So let's read the directions. Let's see what we're about to do. As you examine the notebook pages, fill out each box completely. So you have three boxes, each of them having you do a slightly different thing. The first box here, it says question. What do you see? What details do you notice? What words do you recognize? What stands out to you? Let's try to name at least 6 things. So then the second box here, think. What questions do you have about the document? You might have a lot. What information would be helpful to know about it? Is there anything you don't understand? And then finally, in the third box here, examine what are some guesses you can make about this document. Just by looking at them, reading the words on it, let's try to come to some conclusions. Well, like, who do you think made it? When do you think it was made? Why? And then who would it have belonged to? So, without seeing the documents, you might not fully understand the question. So let's look at those real quick. Just briefly here. So, as you can see, notebook pages. We definitely have that. It's written in very fancy handwriting. Not too many people still write like that today. There are 2 documents on each slide, so there's 6 documents total. So be sure to look through all of them and try to answer these questions in the boxes. All right, so like I've said before, there's not necessarily a wrong answer here. This is through the lens of your eyes, how you see things. So I know the words might look a little different, definitely not something that you see a whole lot of, but just take your time, look them over, see if you can't recognize a word. Like right here, this word barrel, that stands out to me. So try to figure out what you can pull out from there, what you can recognize. All right. After that, we're going to move on to the back page, and that's History Detectives. That's when we will watch part of a TV show. It is called History Detectives. It's on PBS. So we're not going to watch the whole thing. The whole thing's about an hour long. We're only going to watch about 13, 14 minutes of it. Starting at the 26-minute mark, fast forward it to that mark if you need to go back and watch it again, and then end it at about 39 minutes, 30 seconds. They are talking about 2 different topics on the other side of those minutes. So that's not really what we need to do. Maybe after you're done, you're super interested, you can go back and watch it, but just start it off at the 26-minute mark for now. As you watch the show, answer these 4 questions. There's only 4. They do go in order. So as the TV show progresses, you should be able to answer these in chronological order. So that would bring you to part 3, analyzing primary sources. So on Google Classroom, as you notice, there's 3 documents. I have 2 of them pulled up here. You will need to pull up this PDF. You'll come across 5 different sources, 5 different primary sources to look through here. So you only need to pick one of them. Pick one and you answer these questions, 1, 2, 3, 4 questions on one of the 5 documents. You don't need to answer a question for all of them. Just pick one, whatever one you think looks interesting or whatever one you think you'd like to examine and learn more about. Pick that one, answer these questions. Moving on here, that's all you really need to do today. All right, so we're analyzing these documents, and I should say, I guess I should have said, the documents here, as my phone's ringing, that's real weird, as they'll call back, as these documents here that we're looking at, they all go through. Trying to record a video here, how can I help you? Yeah, it's just Mr. Becker. He'll call back. Thanks, sir. So, these pages here are in the TV show. That's a good point. I should have pointed it out. You will find a guy who found a notebook filled with these pages. He has no idea what it was for. He thinks it belonged to an uncle of his that's no longer living. So he brings it to this TV show called History Detectives, and they try to look into it and figure out what exactly was it used for, just like we're doing. So we will try to guess here, fill these out the best you can, watch the show, and we'll find out exactly what this unknown notebook was used for. So it's pretty cool that way. I'm going to call Mr. Becker back, see what he needed. Please email me, tweet at me, whatever you need to do. If you have any questions, I'm usually available for you. Let me know if you need anything. Everything you need is on Google Classroom. Good night and good luck.